So my previous video on the Tata Sky Binge Plus actually had more views than my channel usually does get. And this was really intriguing because people were actually interested in such kind of hybrid product which can play your DTH channel and also act like an Android smart box. And since I already had the Airtel xstream smart box, which is now free with the One Airtel plan, I thought it's about time to do a review on that as well. My name is Ahjay and welcome to the 8-Bit Code. So before we go ahead, there are three things I wanted to clarify. One, this is not the first iteration of this box itself. Back in 2018, Airtel actually launched the internet set-top box, which was supposed to do something very similar to what this box does. However, it had its own flaws, and the xstream set-top box is supposed to be an improvement over the previous iteration. How much of an improvement it is, we'll get to know in today's video. Second, the word xstream is basically Airtel TV or Airtel Movies, which has been rebranded to the app called xstream. And what xstream has is basically a catalog of movies and TV shows across various platforms like Eros Now, Shimarumi, Hangama Play, Lionsgate, etc. And it's all available under one umbrella, which is called Airtel xstream, available on your smartphone and also on this device as well. And the third thing here is that Airtel has played it really smart in terms of consumer reach. And what I mean by this is, say for instance, you're really impressed with what the xstream set-top box has to offer. However, you're not really on board and you don't want to switch your current DTH provider. You can opt for an xstream dongle, which is available on Flipkart, and you can connect it to your television and convert your TV into a smart television, taking the advantage of the Android capabilities of the xstream box while still having your old set-top box. So enough of talks now, let's go ahead and have a look at the box itself. And since I've already used the previous iteration, I have to say this box is a huge improvement over the previous generation. It's aesthetically pleasing, it's slim, it's sleek, and it's just good to look at. It has all the necessary ins and outs, and the greatest news here is that they've got rid of that external cam card or that card which used to be jutting outside from the box. That's gone internal, and that is fantastic, good riddance. It has a micro USB port for your pen drive connectivity, hard disk connectivity, and you can play content. It also has micro SD cards reader, so you can just connect your micro SD card and you can play content from there as well. One thing to highlight here, the previous generation did not have the capability of recording, and this box does have recording capability. You just need to connect your pen drive and format it, and you need to have one top up, which is I think costing 50 rupees per month, and you can actually record one program at a time, and I'll get to that in a moment. So let's go ahead and actually switch this thing on and see how it looks on the big screen. And upon startup, you'll realize the interface is very similar to what we had seen on the Tata Sky Binge Plus. We have Home, which includes your TV channels and also your Android applications. Then we have TV channels, which is exclusive only to your DTH channels. The next two tabs here, movies and TV shows, is having the content across your xstream catalog, and I'll get to that in a moment. And the last is applications. This includes all your other applications. It could be streaming or games or other tools which you have downloaded are available here. So since this is an Android smart set-top box, I would go with the Android section first, and then I'll get to the TV channels. And I'll quickly jump to the app section first here, and we can see we have Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Hotstar, which is fantastic. And the great news here is this box is capable of playing 4K and UHD content across all these three platforms right out of the box, which is fantastic news here. For those of you guys who don't know, Hotstar is now supporting 4K content from I think 5th of August. I actually noticed this a few months back, and I tweeted to Hotstar asking, if they are going to implement HDR and 4K content, and they replied back saying that they are working on it, and eventually the news was out that they are rolling out content on Hotstar, which is fantastic. I'm also glad to report that Amazon Prime is actually playing HDR content right out of the box. One thing to highlight here is that when I watch the same content on my television with the native Amazon Prime app, you can see that the content on the TV plays HDR content, which is a little richer in contrast when compared to the HDR content on the set-top box itself. The one on the Xstream box looks a little less richer when compared to the other HDR playing on Amazon Prime on my television and the Fire Stick. This is something which I just wanted to highlight here. And the second thing here is that HDR is also playing on Netflix and Disney Hotstar, and the content which I watch on Netflix on my set-top box actually shows as HDR, but the same content when I watch it on television, it actually shows Dolby Visions. The same thing is repeated on Disney Hotstar as well. So I'm not sure exactly what is happening here, but my guess is this box is not capable of playing Dolby Vision content. It's only capable of playing HDR content, and if it encounters any content which is Dolby Vision enabled or it supports Dolby Vision, then it converts or encodes it to HDR and gives that output. I'm just guessing this, but I'm not 100% sure. But from what I have seen, that is the only conclusion I can draw. So I just wanted to highlight that as well. Moving to the Xstream section, we have TV shows and movies, and within these two sections we actually have all the content under the Xstream umbrella. We have content from various streaming services like Eros Now, Shimarumi, Hungama Play, and Lionsgate, etc. And you can actually scroll through each of these applications, and you can get to know which is the streaming service which is providing this content, and you can click on any of the title and it will play within the Xstream application itself, which is great. You don't have to download each app individually. And this is playing only in full HD 1080p, and if you have a 4K TV like me, it's going to upscale to 4K. So this is not true 4K. It just works fine, and for a normal use, it is just fantastic. It's kind of smooth, and you don't really realize the difference, or there's no any kind of lag or something like that. In terms of Google integration, the box does have Google Chromecast and Google Assistant built in, which is fantastic. Chromecast works fantastic. There is no delay, there's no lag. The previous iteration actually had kind of problems. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, but in this case it works just flawlessly. Your YouTube, your streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, even Hotstar are able to cast directly to your television, which is fantastic. Also, you can cross your screen directly and you can play your games if you want, which is great. Google Assistant also works well. You just press the Google Assistant button on your remote and speak into the microphone and give a command, and it will go ahead and either launch a program or switch to another channel, increase the volume, switch off the set-top box, etc., which works great. One thing to highlight here is that I was able to actually add this box to my Google Home Mini and add it to a particular room in my Google Home environment through Google Home Mini, which is fantastic. The previous box did not allow me to do that. I was able to give commands to launch Netflix, and I was also able to give commands to increase the volume, decrease the volume, or launch a particular title on Netflix, which is great. Play Stranger Things on DTH TV.
Alright, Stranger Things from Netflix, playing on DTH.
However, I was not able to give commands to change the channel to like Star Sports. It would directly play on YouTube. So that is something which could have been worked upon, but nevertheless, it has been an improvement. So I just wanted to report that as well. In terms of system configuration, this device is running a dual-core processor at 1.8 GHz. It's also having 1.5 GB of RAM and 4.4 GB of storage. It's also running an Android 9 operating system, and as you can see, I wouldn't recommend downloading high-end games on this or even huge applications because of the system capability. And finally, this review would be incomplete if I don't show you how the TV channels look on this box. And before we go there, I just want to show you the user interface of this device, which is just fantastic. Kudos to Airtel, they have designed it really nicely. It's minimalistic, the colors are bright, the text is crisp, and it's just so easy to look, easy in the eyes, and I was really impressed with that. TV channels look fantastic on 4K, especially HD channels. I have no complaints whatsoever. There is no much pixelation, the upscaling is good. However, on SD channels, it could have been better. It could have been much better actually. And I'm not a fan of SD channels. And when you watch them on 4K, you realize, how badly they're struggling. But this is this is all you can expect from an SD channel. There's nothing much you can say about it. There are some channels which are only available in SD, and there's nothing much you can do about it. But I'm not a big fan of SD channels, especially watching it on 4K television. And since we are in the channel section here, I'll quickly show you how we can record programs onto your pen drive. So I have the pen drive connected here. I'll go into the option section and click on record, and the program has started recording on the pen drive. It will be encrypted. You cannot remove the pen drive and plug it into your PC and play the program on your PC though. It will be encrypted and it only plays on the set-top box. And once you're done with the recording, you can actually hit on stop and the recording will stop. Another good thing about this is you can actually go ahead and schedule the program to be recorded which is future dated. So for instance, I'll just go ahead and check program which is playing next, and I can go into the options and actually hit on schedule, and the program will be scheduled to be recorded once it starts playing. So that is great. And if you want to check where your program recordings are stored, you would need to go into your TV channels and scroll down to the recording, or rather my recording, and it will show you what channels or what programs you have recorded, and you can log them, play, and even remove them if you want, and this will be playing directly from your pen drive. So that is great. And you can also click on the record button on your remote, and the recording will start instantly. And since we are on the remote section, let's go ahead and have a look at the remote as well. So the remote is actually an improvement over the previous iteration. It looks good. We have Netflix, Amazon Prime, and YouTube hotkeys. We also have the Google Assistant hotkey. There is a trackpad which is not capacitive. It's actually a physical button. The previous iteration remote actually had a trackpad which was capacitive, but it was not accurate at all. So this has been removed, and it has been replaced with this physical button. We have live, record, and guide, TV, and set-top box, and we also have the microphone to speak in and give our commands. So overall, the structure of this remote is pretty nice, and I was impressed with that. So let's go ahead with the pros and cons for this box. So let's go to the pros and the cons here. Pros first. This box is playing 4K content. There is no limitation of any application. HDR content is available on Amazon Prime. In case you don't want to switch your set-top box, you can also opt for a dongle, which is great. And the last thing, probably not about the box, but the way Airtel has designed or planned their channel selection on their site or also on the app is great. It is very simple, minimalistic, and you actually know what you're selecting and how much you're going to pay for. And moving to the cons here, obviously SDR is playing on Netflix and Disney Hotstar when it's actually showing Dolby Vision on other devices. So I'm not sure, probably it's a hardware capability issue and it's not able to process Dolby Vision. Second, it could have been a little faster, especially when scrolling through Amazon Prime. It could be the issue with the app, but I felt it was a little sluggish and could have been a little better. Third, even though there is integration with Google, I could not give Google commands directly to change the channels, which could have completely eliminated the use of a remote, and I would have loved that. And third, the quality of SD channels could have been better. This is not related to the box, but I just wanted to highlight that. So my final thoughts on this box are Airtel did a fantastic job in understanding what the internet set-top box lacked in. It understood what the flaws are, and they improved that. They worked on it, and they came up with an extreme set-top box which tried to eliminate all the errors or all the problems which the previous iteration had, and they gave us this box. I've been using this box for more than 6 months, I think more than 8 months now, and I had no problems whatsoever, and I'm really happy with how it has functioned and how durable it is. And now that Airtel is giving this box free with the Airtel One plan, you can go for this box with your eyes closed, because it is a great bargain, a great deal, and you will actually like the fact that you can watch online content and also switch your DTH channels right on one box using one remote without any kind of problem. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys are safe and doing well. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like this, and if you didn't, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day ahead. Thank you.